I'm just going to sing a song. Any requests? Al Green?
We shall overcome. Home on the range.
Home on the range. Well, thank you all for coming this evening. We really appreciate you taking the time and being brave to come out tonight. Some people have come up to me this evening, and obviously they don't know us, don't know me. The question is obviously, what are you about? What are you going to do? What's going to be different? That's a pretty big question. And I've just spent the last 2.5 years standing in front of the city council, 5 people that have been in office collectively for over 74 years, and just looked at me and basically gave me the finger. I mean, that's exactly what happened. I'm an educated person. I'm not stupid. I understand the issues of business. I'm in the risk management business. I educate business owners, CEOs, CFOs, general counsels about things that go bad with their business if they don't make smart decisions. I know a lot about the oil and gas business because it's a very dangerous business. About a year ago, or just over a year ago, there was 29 miners killed in West Virginia, I think it was, the Massey Energy disaster. And if you read anything on that issue, this terrible issue, this terrible human tragedy, everything I read about that tragedy was the miners for years said, something's going to go bad here. Something really tragic is going to happen. We smell gas every day. We go into working conditions every day, and we just know it's only a matter of time before something goes bang, and we don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be pretty. Well, it was 29 men's lives were lost. Now, we're not digging holes in the ground, sending people down there to dig out coal, but we're using technology that's dated, technology that's used on the cheap, an industry that abuses all its health and safety practices. It's an industry, I read a Wall Street Journal article about a year ago. There's an epidemic within the oil and gas industry of abuse, of health and safety violations. It's an industry that doesn't really care about people. It doesn't care about property. Definitely doesn't care about our water. If you've read anything about what's going on the East Coast, through the Midwest, with the fracturing, hydraulic fracking issues. I mean, water is one of our most precious resources. The future wars of this world will be fought over water, not oil. So that was my experience for about 3 years, 2.5 years, with a bunch of other residents, trying to get some common sense into these people, to listen to the facts. And they didn't listen. Now, I just don't deal with oil and gas issues. Obviously, I deal with all sorts of business issues. Back in 2006, as we were consulting to our publicly traded home builders, in my business, we could see their financial statements being reshuffled every quarter. Well, they were being reshuffled because sales were going down. This was 2006. And then we had a book of business that was supplemented by also subcontractors in that industry, the residential construction space. And they were slowly reducing their numbers. So we knew that something bad was coming. So I got my finger on the pulse of industry. I got my finger on the pulse of business. I've got my finger on the pulse of some common sense principles. And I've also got my finger on the pulse of what I think is right and wrong. And I think when we vote for public officials, the right thing to do is to listen to the people that voted for you. So just because you've been elected... So just because you've been elected by 16% of the voters in Whittier, and the 35% of that 16% that comes from Friendly Hills predominantly, that's been the cronies behind the incumbents for so many years, and who don't want to listen, who don't want to learn the truth, and don't want to use science and fact to base either their personal beliefs or their political support to an individual. Just because of all those things, it doesn't mean that we can go in a new direction. And so 3 people and hopefully all three will get elected against the three incumbents that have thrown their hat in the ring. Someone said to me this evening, well, I haven't heard much about you. Well, there's a reason, because we don't have a lot of money. That's a fact. All three of us have put ourselves out for very significant personal financial risk and personal risk. I'm already on, excuse my French, of a number of people that I play golf with at Friendly Hills Country Club. They don't like the truth, and they don't like people standing up for what's right. It's time that all of us actually started doing that, and your presence here tonight is a reflection of that and a confirmation of that. I don't know why people in this country today are so scared, because, as one famous American I think once said, you get the government you vote for. Well, we only get 16% of the vote. Well, let's try and change that 16% to 30%, and I guarantee you we will be elected. And I will listen, and I will make common sense decisions. I will revitalize the uptown business community. I will make it a town that we can all be proud of. Because I'm in the sales business. And in being in the sales business, you've got to have something to sell. This is a pretty difficult sell to a lot of businesses right now. So when people say to me, how are you going to do it? Well, the first thing is I've got to figure out how to sell it and figure out what we've got to sell. Well, we've got a wonderful city here. We've got a wonderful uptown community. We've got a wonderful group of business owners that are really energetic about making this a great place to live, a great place to visit. Well, let's use our two ears and keep our one mouth shut and start listening to them and start taking in some of their ideas and making them partners. And I know that we can make this city just like a city like Claremont, or like Monrovia, or like La Habra, or like Pasadena, because we have the same canvas. We just haven't put the right colors on it. So all you've got to do is help us get there. It may be financial. It may be sticking a yard sign outside your home or your apartment. It may be talking to a few neighbors. And it may be just dragging them by the hair down to the polling booth, because you might have to do that. Because apathy and complacency and laziness and ignorance and all those things are why we're in this mess, not just here in Whittier, but throughout the nation. But the only way we're going to fix this is one city at a time, one city council member seat at a time, and it's in your hands. So I urge you, get fired up, take a message out there, don't listen to the ignorant, speak up, be counted, be brave, and believe me, it will happen on April 10th.